Welcome to our presentation about transforming climate change education through professional learning communities, or in short, PLCs. My name is Loran Pieck and I work as an M&E and Capacity Development Advisor with VVOB, Education for Development in South Africa. In the Keep It Cool Climate Change Education project, we partner with Green Mette and Fundisa for Change in a project funded by the Government of Flanders to utilize the education sector as a strategic resource in South Africa's transition towards a more climate-resilient society. The presentation is split in two parts. So in the first part, we will focus about what we know about effective PLCs in South Africa and their potential for effective professional development. In the second part, we'll discuss how PLCs can transform climate change education. So pictured on the slide, you see one of my colleagues, Paul Mpisa, facilitating a PLC of South African teachers. The Integrated Strategic Planning Framework for Teacher Education and Development for South Africa was launched in 2011 by the Department of Basic Education. It seeks to improve the quality of teacher education and development to improve the quality of education. The framework places educators firmly at the center of professional development and enables them to take substantial responsibility for their own development. So a variety of modes and study are available to the educator, including learning with peers in a PLC. So on the slide you see the definition of a PLC, that PLCs are communities that provide the setting and necessary support for groups of classroom teachers, school managers and subject advisors to participate collectively in determining their own developmental trajectories and to set up activities that will drive their development. So professional development becomes effective when educators are given the space to try out new learnings in a safe environment. A process that is staggered in time to learn, practice, implement and reflect upon new strategies that facilitate changes in their practice, in their teaching practice. PLCs create the opportunity for educators to report on their learnings, to receive feedback from others and collectively reflect on these learnings. This is explained by the learning cycle on the slides. It starts from educators developing more awareness about the topic, building their knowledge and understanding of the topic, have the opportunity to try out new skills and to translate knowledge into practice, and lastly, to create opportunities for educators to then reflect on these new approaches. So in short, educators become self-reflective practitioners. PLCs are also an effective approach to complement workshops or trainings, as they give educators the opportunity to go through all stages of the learning cycle, to apply what you have learned from the workshop in your own context, and then reflect on those experiences with your colleagues. So PLCs respond to the 7 aspects which contribute to effective professional development. First of all, they promote active learning. They also create a space for educators to share ideas and to collaborate as equals in their learning. Resources like lesson plans and lesson observation are used to provide educators with a clear vision of what best practice looks like. Coaching and expert support can be drawn into the PLCs to address educators' needs. As shown on the previous slide, they also provide time for educators to intentionally think about, receive input on, and make changes to their practice. Effective PLCs focus on teaching strategies linked to a specific curriculum content, in our case, climate change. And lastly, effective PLCs give educators adequate time to go through all stages of the learning cycle. So what do we know about effective PLCs in South Africa? Previous research revealed that PLCs become more effective when they are needs-based and practice-oriented, so where educators have autonomy on content. Where PLCs display mutual trust and respect, with educators feeling supported and confident to talk about challenges in a safe setting. Effective PLCs also ensure collective responsibility for student learning. They provide a shared vision and a clear focus on ensuring learning for all learners. They also offer collaborative and reflective inquiry. So why is this important? So effective PLCs turn educators into agents of their own change processes. They choose to learn about a topic that matters to them together with their colleagues at equal levels. In short, PLCs offer educators with a system that offers support and nurtures dialogue, reflection, and agency for transforming practices. We invite you to watch this video in which educators testify how they experience their participation in PLCs. Now, what can we learn from the potential of PLCs to transform climate change education? This diagram explains how PLCs of educators can transform a pedagogy if they are surrounded by the right support system. In a competent system, a PLC can grow when the following aspects are present. Educators frequently engage in reflective and in-depth dialogues with colleagues about the climate change topic, based on their daily practice. Educators also try out new practices, enabling them to see opportunities of teaching climate change and valuing those. There is investment in collective responsibility. A strengthened pedagogy is not considered as the sole responsibility of the principal or a single teacher, but of a collective. And there is a focus on reaching shared values and vision based on children's rights and respect towards diversity. Now, the fifth condition to be realized is the presence of leadership as a powerful strength in transforming the school's culture. All these characteristics work towards the well-being of children and their families. The diagram also shows the connection between the everyday realities of children, teachers, schools, communities, the classroom, and the learning. It offers the opportunity to build on the ideas of hope, agency, motivation, and imagination to see a different future. So PLCs have the potential to break down a narrow interpretation of professionalism. So by building on a system that connects, a system that nurtures, and one that stimulates, agency for transforming practices. So in the Keep It Cool climate change education project, 200 teachers from 3 provinces will participate in a professional development trajectory on a climate change related topic within their subject linked to the curriculum. The professional development component of the project will start with a training in which teachers will strengthen their subject-specific content knowledge on climate change and develop subject-specific pedagogical content knowledge, including knowledge of assessment. Then from the course, they will be offered the opportunity to continue learning with their colleagues from the course and with other colleagues from their schools in the format of a PLC, to collaboratively reflect on their teaching of climate change. So ultimately, the aim of the KIC project is for teachers to initiate climate change projects which are linked to the curriculum and which involve the students, the school, and ultimately the community. Throughout this process, teachers will be encouraged to regularly participate in reflective sessions with their PLC. The climate change projects will be co-created with the learners. And parallel to this theory of change process, the school leadership, consisting of the school management team and the school governing body, will also be introduced to the project and be offered the opportunity to reflect on their role, to assist their teachers with participating in the training, in the PLCs, and to support the climate change education change projects in their schools. A possible approach is to encourage school leaders to initiate their own PLCs to support climate change education in their schools. So here are a selection of quotes from educators sharing their PLC experience. I leave some time for you to engage with the quotes on the slide. So keeping in mind the diagram linking PLCs to the whole school, we'll now look into the needs the PLCs in the KIC project might have to identify their own needs around working with climate change education and which support they'll need to try out alternative practices which will culminate in a successful change project in the school. So to nurture the characteristics of effective PLCs, which we know include reflective dialogue, trying out alternative practices, a shared vision and values, and collective responsibility. So the PLCs will need to be supported at different levels to bring about the climate change projects in the schools. For instance, the PLC will need support to identify their own needs in working with climate change education, with emphasis on adaptation and change projects, so which are linked to their local needs. The PLC might also need guidance on how to initiate a change project in a school and how to rope in support from school leadership, the whole school, and the community in the project. The PLC might also need support in identifying their needs to reach out to external experts on the topic they have identified and which might be available to them within their local community. Such experts can consist of local government, the private sector, or good practices at other schools, universities, NGOs, or other organizations. It is perhaps interesting to note that through the Kik project, a database of open source materials for climate change education and adaptation will be developed with the support of the University of Cape Town. And this will become an important resource for the schools in this project too. The PLC facilitator might also need to be supported, because a facilitator will have to manage a balancing act of playing a coordinating, directing, and enabling role to ensure the PLC is effective in bringing about change in climate change education practice at the level of the classroom and at the level of the school. So in doing so, the facilitator will have to motivate PLC participants, instill that shared vision, create trust and respect, and manage effective feedback. So we believe that these support systems will make the PLCs an effective and sustainable approach of teacher professional development to support the pedagogy of climate change that fosters hope, agency, as the PLCs are driven by the teachers. So climate change education will be owned by the teachers teaching it. So a pedagogy that fosters connection and imagination. So we look forward to starting a dialogue with you during the symposium about the potential of PLCs to transform climate change education in South Africa. To guide that discussion, we've listed 3 questions here on the slide, which we hope will spark additional ideas and insights on this topic. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and we look forward to meeting you during the virtual symposium.